on Facebook and everything too? I ain't saying that crazy though. I want to make sure. I got you.
We professional around here. Yeah. It might be on, but they can't hear you.
I'm like, okay. Let me shake my boots for a minute.
Yeah, nah. You good.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Change the Live, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Got an awesome show planned tonight. Tonight we'll be discussing something I think a lot of people don't have a lot, where people don't practice a lot. That's respecting other people's opinion. Again, respecting other people's opinion and stuff. What's going on, Latavia? Glad you tuning in. I hear you. You didn't hear nothing bad. Yeah, respecting everybody's opinion. You know, I'm super excited to talk about this topic. And I think this is one of the things that affect a lot of people because, especially from a communication standpoint, people miss out on some of the things that can be accomplished because of the simple fact they can't respect other folks' opinion and really understand that other people, everybody don't think the way you do.
Okay, right? Okay, but, yeah.
Before we get started, I want to say what's up to my awesome producers, DJ Lab.
Another Thursday, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Change some lives today.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we will definitely accomplish it.
That's right.
Also, Slick 316, what's going on, Reek? You know, you do the previous thing. You know, I rehashed my previous week. We'll make that a little kind of short. We're in the middle of tax season. Your boy out here trying to make a little change.
You make $1.15.
Yeah, man, doing a little bit. We're doing pretty good. You know, y'all check out Majestic Business Services if you need any tax preparation needs. Also, Mr. Short Dollar doing pretty good at my other YouTube channel. Russia's blowing the hell up out of Ukraine. So let's pray for those people over there.
That's right.
And also, like, you know, we still working on the revamp of Change the Lives. So please bear with me. I got a lot of stuff I want to put out to you guys and stuff like that. So hanging out with me. Now, one last thing, guys. This is Change the Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden, where we talk about personal motivation, professional development, family, parenting, marriage, any kind of thing that you deal with on a personal level, motivational. We got over 300 videos on the channel. A lot of great information. Right now we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So awesome show tonight. Like I said, this is a subject matter I think a lot of people need to really think about. A lot of people avoid because sometimes people just be narrow-minded, or different reasons. We're going to discuss that in tonight's show. So guys, if y'all are looking at us right now, whatever platform, make sure you hit a 1. So I know you guys are interacting with it, whatever platform you're looking at, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just press a 1 for me so we can get the algorithm going. People to, and the different platforms, make sure it's resharing my information. One thing about we start talking about the whole subject matter. Can't hear me now. This is Instagram.
I'm telling you, Instagram doing some things.
I don't know what's going on. If you can, Latavia, go to Change the Lives on YouTube. I apologize. I think something going on with I know you probably reading my lips. Can't hear me. Can't hear me still.
No, she can't hear you.
Oh, so I don't know. I just keep it
Type
going.
in, go to YouTube.
There you go.
Yeah, something's going on with Instagram. People, I've been having the same issue with Instagram. We did a whole video yesterday and posted the video, and it was silent. So I don't know what's going on. We've been dealing with that for the last couple of days. So.
Okay. So, the subject we were talking about tonight is respecting others' opinions. And we know that this is probably one of the things I don't know for a lot of people. You hear all the times, hear people make certain posts in regards to what people should do in regards to parenting or whatever. I had a post the other day, and it was to kind of spur that kind of conversation up. I put in, parents, should you let your kids fail? Didn't put what I think kids should, what you should let it do or whatever. I just put it out there to ask parents, should you let your kids fail?
Right.
So you get a rainbow of responses, no, yes, I try to do this and I try to do that and everything, and that's cool. I've always been from the point of view, every household is different. Is the end game is to make sure that you got a productive citizen, a good person in your household, mission accomplished. Right? How you go about getting that and everything like that, that's different. And I can respect that. But everybody don't think the way I think.
That's right.
And I'm okay with that. But everyone else is not okay with that. And I from I go back to different ways. You know, when you were younger, you hear sometimes hear your parents, or in my case, my grandparents talk, and my granddad was always quick. You know, he country guy from Pike County, Georgia. He sit there, man, that dude's stupid as hell. He's dumb as hell. He say some of the dumbest stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, Granddad, he just said something different than what
you said.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And he was just really just adamant about that. My grandfather was a smart man, but I won't say he was probably the most open-minded person. Okay. You know, he seen straight. He ain't seen nothing out the side or whatever. He just going straight down the highway.
Straight.
Yeah.
Blinders on.
Exactly. And a lot of men from that era were like that. You know, by choice and by force. You know, you had to just this how it is. You know.
Got to conform.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And now it's different. Now it's different. We live in a world, in a society where everybody have different opinions about life, parents, sexuality, rearing children, business, and stuff like that.
And they seem to love to express that opinion.
Exactly. Exactly.
Vividly.
And you have to sit here and just, it can be things that you wholeheartedly do not care to talk about, discuss, understand, and, you know, really respect. Hey, that's just how they are.
Right.
And I think that's where the confusion starts. Not a confusion, but just whatever the word, the bad stuff starts. And so that's why I want to have that conversation on tonight's show in regards to respecting others' opinions. Have that discussion in regards to just what it is, things that trigger it, and how we can, you know, circumvent or kind of correct it. Okay. So we start looking from the most simplistic term. What exactly what are we talking about when we say respect another person's opinion? And I have my own little definition. What I came up with is to respect others' opinions and boundaries is to accept that they are entitled to them. To acknowledge that we won't always have the same perception or believe in the same thing. So letting other people be with their own concept means showing them respect. So in a nutshell, just understanding that everybody is not us. Everybody doesn't think like us. Everybody doesn't believe the way we believe. And being okay with, hey, bro, we can agree to disagree. Okay. And leave the table with that said. Because I've been in a lot of, you know, being Mr. Short Dollar or being Mr. Deonte, I'm on a lot of boards, on a lot of committees, where you got a lot of people that are very bright and have a lot of bright opinions. Okay. And everybody feel they right. Everybody feel they right, and everybody feel that their way is the best way of going in, you know, about certain things. And they may be totally disagreeing with another way. They may be totally ignorant to a way and just don't even want to, for that reason, just say, hey, man, well, explain that to me. And because they're not familiar with it, they'll sit there and just say, I'm going to cut this Instagram off of there.
It's messing up still.
Well, no, I don't know. I'll let it still run. Okay. You know, but, you know, people, instead of just, you know, saying, hey, lab, explain me your point, you know, point of view. Nah, that's crazy. Because they've been doing it the same way. It's kind of like when you go to that, if you've been going a certain way to work, and then you turn around and you have a conversation, like, oh, bro, you go that way? Man, why don't you try this way? Right. And you so stuck in your way, you just might be a creature of habit. Right. And you're like, no. And even when I'm telling you, like, damn, that dude, that may be quicker. But you might be abrasive to it because you don't want to let go to what you were saying or your normal way of doing things. Right. And that is not, sometimes there's nothing wrong with you being that way. You are how you are. The issue comes up when we can't respect each other's opinion and it affects other people. That's when it starts having, you know, certain, you know, negative aspects of that.
But I get what you're saying, but my question is, what if you know for a fact that their opinion is wrong? Like, it's just, I know opinions are like buttholes, everybody have one, but sometimes people be spewing opinions that you just know, like, that don't even make sense. Why are you even telling me this?
What makes it wrong, lad? In your opinion.
In my opinion, I have to give you an example of something like that. You know, like if you, like, let's say, like, with you. Okay. You have a tax business. And someone tell you like, well, you know, I'm a mail taxes off. You know, it's better that way. it's better to do it this way. Make sure you get your taxes back correctly. Make sure everything's done right. And the person tell you, well, man, you ain't got to go through all that. In my opinion, I think you should go ahead and do it electronically so I get it back just that much quicker. You know, I've been reading up, and electronic filing is the best way to go for everybody. So what? In my opinion, I think you just wasting time and gonna make my taxes come back just that much slower.
Gotcha.
But you go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't finish that. Like,
but that's it.
Well, see, the thing of it is, if a person is wrong, they're wrong. We can say you're wrong. But at the end of the day, one thing about it, a fact we can't refute. I say it all the time. When people, Poochie, you think you know this, you think you did this, and whatever. And I always say at the end of the day, we can argue opinions all day and night. But we can't argue what? Results.
Right.
If you're a producer and you make stuff happen, you can say, well, look, that what was done. Okay. We can't refute that. How you feel about certain things like that because you don't like a person or like certain things that a person has done or said, whatever. But, you know, if that person say, okay, look, I've done the, you know, I feel like I'm a good mentor because I've mentored X amount of kids. I've done this with my children. I've done this with my community. Those are facts.
Right.
Now, we can sit here and just argue back and forth. That don't mean nothing. Well, what's your basis that you have it? And I got to listen to you. I might not agree with, might not like it. Okay, I can respect that. That's your opinion.
Right.
But everybody don't think like that. And somebody telling you that, look, this is the sky is green. We know it ain't green. Now, we can go argue all different kind of shades of blue. But at the end of the day, like, if it's wrong, we can't do anything about that. But facts are irrefutable. And I think that's why a lot of times people have these strong opinions that they could confuse with facts.
Emphasize the word strong.
Yeah, strong opinions that they really confuse with facts.
Right.
You know, because like I said, a fact is what? Irrefutable.
That's right.
And I think a lot of times people just don't understand the difference between a strong opinion and a fact.
Right.
And I think that just comes with maturity. Maturity for a person to be able to sit here and say, like, look, that's just, nah, that's how you feel. That's not the way it is.
Okay.
You know? Okay. We can't argue facts.
Right.
But a strong
they can argue them, but they're irrefutable, like you say.
Yeah, but see, the thing that is, when we start getting strong opinions, like that cologne smell good. That's a show up suit. You know, man, that's a bad car.
In your opinion.
Exactly.
Right.
So those kind of things, like, you know, and the person like, man, why not? Tell them whatever, but that's just what they feel or what they believe.
Right.
But the fact is just fact. The fact is like what? The price.
Right.
The motor. The tire size. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so that's the kind of thing. You know, you jump into you talking about the tire size. The opinion is if it's big or small.
Okay.
Cheap, expensive. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got to get in that realm. But like I said, some people they got strong opinions that they don't know how to distinguish.
So why do you think it's so difficult for them? Why do you think it's so difficult for people to respect other people's opinion?
Main reason I think people would rather not be wrong than accept the other way to look at it.
Okay.
You know, people rather that don't want to look stupid. They don't want to look dumb. They don't want to, you know, just really open themselves up that, hey, there is another way to do it.
Right.
Especially when you have, we're talking about respecting other people's opinion. A lot of times people have a difficult part accepting your opinion if they have been really pressing their strong opinion.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can tell you, hey, son, this is the way I want you to prep for this test. This is it. And I'm, you know, and you're like, okay, this is working. You know, but it may not be the best way, but it's the best way you know for them to do it.
Okay.
But then the teacher comes with a whole different concept. Do this, do that. So I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. I got to sit here and say, okay, look, you know, if we're not doing something that's working or whatever, let's look at it and give it a try, you know. Now, if I feel like our situation is okay, why do we need to do it? Are we getting great results? Man, I need to. This so you can look at it. But again, we start going to that strong opinion.
Right.
If we're going, you know, people just like, nah, this the best way. The best way is probably a way. Because that word best is what? You know, it's all of it. It's those gray words. It's all subjective.
Subjective. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The best way is always subjective.
Yeah. So
the best way for you may not be the best way for me.
Absolutely.
Right.
We talk about that a lot in business. Well, people all the time, well, how do you get these business loans? How to do this and how to do that? And I tell people all the time, the method that you go about getting your business established, establishing credit, advertising your business, it's all subjective to what type of business you have.
When I was, and I know your master's in supply chain. My master's is just in business administration. But when I was going through, when I was a professor, he always told me when I was getting my master's degree, he told me that he told us, the class, he ain't just speaking directly to me, but he said that there's always 50 or 60 different best ways to get to end result.
Yeah.
You always got to look at all the ways that's possible in order to make your business successful. In order to get to where you're trying to get to, there's several different paths and several different forks in the road that you may have to take, but they're all the best way.
Yeah, because something you don't know about can just be. You can take probably a third or fourth of the steps that you're doing in your current process, and you just gotta be receptive to just hearing folks out. There's so many people that don't want to be wrong, they don't want to look stupid, they don't want to feel ignorant. And a lot of times you're not.
Right.
I'm a very, very confident person. And people are like, well, Poochie, you ain't never wrong. You act like you ain't never wrong. I don't think I ain't never wrong. If I have no problem
just
being wrong. No.
I'm just thinking of me.
Trust me, I hear it all the time. You always got to be right and this, that, and it's not that. Tell me what you're saying. Tell me what you're saying so I can listen to it. And because, in business, every decision you make with your business has a cost associated to it.
Right.
So if you're kicking out time and you're kicking out money, especially if we're talking about the first one, time, that's something you can't get back, you got to be very, very careful. So you just throwing out this willy-nilly idea. I had a conversation with one of my sons the other day. And he said, what are you talking about my tag business? What's up, T? I'm going to talk about your ass. He said, why don't you just automate the process? I said, what you mean, son? He said, just set it up there on the, just set it where people just go and do their own taxes. I said, if I do that, they'll just go to freetax.com.
Right.
I said, that doesn't, because my whole thing was, where you get that from? Because I think sometimes my kids get reluctant because they know I'm going to ask that.
Right.
One thing I always encourage my children to do is think. So I'm like, where you get that from? Why you say that?
Right.
Well, I just think it'd be easier. I said, but the reason people come to me is because they want to deal with Deonte.
Right.
Or even the people that work for me, they want to have a person they can talk to and ask questions. They want that personal thing. If I automate it, you're going to have some people that, just, hey, I want to just speed it up, but they're going to go to freetax.com.
Right.
There's no incentive.
There's no personal feel to that.
And that's why they come to me.
Right.
If they don't want that, they'll use TurboTax and TaxAct.
Right.
H&R Block software. I got to compete with other people that actually offering the personal service. I can't compete with a person that wants to do it themselves.
Right.
It just doesn't work. So it's no use to trying to get into that realm.
You're never going to get that person who wants to do it themselves. There's no competition for that.
And I ain't free.
Right.
Shit.
So if you're going to automate the system, that defeats the purpose of having the business.
I have on my platforms where you can go file your taxes and do it yourself, and you'll pay I think it's like $10 or $15 or $20 to file your state. So I have that stuff set up. It's there, but that's not nothing to push.
Right.
Who the hell on $20? What can I do with that?
So in his opinion, it would be better if you just automate it.
No, he asked the question.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't really know. Just outside looking in. But he probably looking at because he probably seen a video, people automating it, just the way to do it, because you like, where the hell that come from? That was my thing. Like, where the hell did you get that idea?
Right.
But he was just asking a question. Typically, if I knew, if a person kind of has an idea about what they're talking about, or they feel something different, they'll throw out an idea with a reason.
Okay.
I think you should do this because of this.
Okay.
But a lot of times people just throw an idea at you because they may be thinking that they heard it or they figure, with that. But again, like I said, it's just some of the reasons why you were saying it's difficult being a lot of folks just rather not be wrong than, accept the other ways to do it, protect themselves in regards to just losing influence. I'm gonna say this, especially dealing with a lot of different boys. And I'm honest about it. It's just my opinion. If you don't want to get nothing accomplished, you get a room full of preachers, because they gon' everybody got to be right in there, and they way got to be right, because it's a room full of shepherds. They're leading, and a lot of them just can't take a back seat to say, your congregation is smaller, but you are expertise in this field, so I'm gonna let you do it. All preachers like that? No, but a damn lot of them are. Everybody got. I'm telling you, I've been in these rooms. Everybody got to say something. They got to get.
I find that to be the case when you have a bunch of people, not all who have businesses and degrees. You understand that problem too.
Yeah.
You try to get a meeting of the minds, and everybody's mind is bigger and brighter than everybody else's mind. So that no one wants to listen. Everybody wants to talk and give their opinion, but we're trying to solve one problem. We're not trying to solve 20 problems. Let's get this one problem right first, and then we'll work on the rest. But it's always all over the place.
You know, it's funny with that layup. When I was in grad school, shout out to Clayton State. I remember
Lion Lady Love said too many Indians. I mean, too many chiefs, not enough Indians.
It's dangerous.
Right.
It's dangerous. You got so many people want to be in charge. But when I was in grad school, I remember one of the biggest things they were pushing out a lot of those major, especially coming out of Silicon Valley. A lot of those organizations pushed our innovation and thought process, where they would get groups and they would spend so much time deep diving and everybody giving different ideas and respecting the weirdness or the difference of another person's opinion. But you had to explain why.
Okay.
Why you said that, you know, with doing it. And, you know, just you have to be so deep, but just kind of just spur thinking and capitalize on the asset of DJ Lab, asset of Deonte. Now, again, what I'm saying may not necessarily be the best way, but you just give me an opportunity to do that. But you're creating an environment where everybody's comfortable with saying how they feel.
Okay.
Now, the thing of it is, how you feel and what can be constructed can be two different things, because eventually you got to put it in break down exactly how.
But psychologically, though, your feelings when you're dealing with certain things like that is still going to be your opinion, because it still may not be the correct way to, or it may be your way because you feel as though this is your way to do it.
Absolutely.
So that's still an opinion.
Absolutely. But see, that's the thing about it. We still, that's the maturation of a person. Just because you feel that way don't mean that's the way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a way. And I think everybody got to look at it like that. You know, like, we just kicking out ideas.
Right.
You know, we can talk about politicians all the time, but the only time you're going to get stuff done, folks got to put stuff, look, man, you know, he's all over here thinking that, and I'm over here thinking that. But the end game is what? The end game.
Right.
Like I said, I've been on plenty of boards, and polar opposites on a lot of subjects with some people. When we got a goal, we got to put some things to the side and make sure the goal get accomplished. You know? And a lot of people haven't reached that part in life. Right. Again, guys, this is Change Your Life, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Tonight's show, we're talking about respecting others' opinions. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Change Your Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Right now, we're streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So again, Change Your Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Tonight, we're talking about respecting others' opinion. Me personally, just talk about just certain challenges that, you know, Mr. Deonte Chutney Burden had to go through. And I get, like I said, I get told all the time, you know, people work with me, family members and everything, oh, you don't listen. You always got to be right. You can't be wrong, whatever. You don't listen, whatever. And I never interrupt people. And I always tell folks is I listen to everybody. I listen to everything you say. And and one thing about I tell, I said, I can repeat what the hell you just said verbatim. Every damn thing you said, I can tell. The problem is, I just not agree with you.
Right.
Just because I don't agree with you, don't mean I don't listen to you. You know, and I can respect that's how you feel. The issue come up is, I may not agree, or I may not fully understand your point of view. Just because your ass can't, you know, it is one. Well, I just can't explain what I mean, because I'm going to ask you, explain it.
And they can articulate it.
Exactly. And that ain't my damn fault. That ain't my damn fault. You tongue-tied and explaining your way.
Right.
You know, that's not my fault. Right. But see, the thing of it is that I deal with a lot of impactful situations for me and other people.
Okay.
I have to be able to explain why I feel the way I feel on a lot of situations, especially situations that affect other people. You know, well, this is why we have to invest in these things for the community. This is why we got to get these mentees this information. This is why, because it's affecting other people. So I got to be able to explain that. And I'm not comfortable being in a room making decisions for people, and this person can't damn explain why. Because I think we should do this. Why you say that, brother? Well, break it down, sister. Because, you know, I'm sitting here looking at it, you know, it could be something as simple as, we can't invest in those because it costs that. People say all the time, well, especially with community development, here all the time people, we ought to go do this, we got to do that. But no, we can't do that because we got to get, you know, zoning. We can't do that so close to a school. Certain days of the week we can't do that. We got to go through these channels to do that. And like I said, a lot of times people give opinions on stuff they don't know.
Okay.
Well, you hear a lot of times right now what's going on. President Biden ain't did nothing for the black folks or whatever, this,
right.
and that. And he has to be realistic. Okay, what from a federal level, what are you expecting him to do with certain things? And now why I say that is, there are things that you're probably expecting him to do that your local politician is
needs
supposed
to be
taken
care of.
Exactly. But you don't understand basic civics, so you're just saying all these certain things are these policies. Like there are federal policies, state policies, county and local government policies.
Yeah.
Exactly. And everybody got different jurisdictions. Now, if you're not familiar with civics on how certain things go, you'll just be hollering willy-nilly. Now, on the flip side of it is, those people that run for office, like the president, they may just say, well, I'm going to do this, knowing that's some stuff that they really don't deal with, right? Or they may just try to give some kind of influence to, like, again, you know, trickling down to the state or the counties or whatever. But a lot of times, people just say, I think we should do this, especially when it comes to things that we're ignorant about, just these holistic ideas.
Lion Lady Love said they said the same thing about Obama. He ain't do nothing for the black folks.
Same thing.
Right.
See, the thing you look at, what things would you expect? And see, when people throw like mirror statements, like what are you expecting?
Right.
And I hear the thing about, well, Trump got folks out of prison, and Obama didn't get the guys out of prison. Look, man. That I don't mean sound funny. That hit my damn concern.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and
but how do they know that he did? Just because he didn't advertise, it wasn't say. I mean, sometimes things are done, you know, quietly. But again, that's their opinion, right? That's their opinion of things and how things went and how things were going, what was done and what wasn't done.
Well, let's say this. Well, let's stay on that for a second. Say if that's public information, Trump freed 100-some people, whatever the number was, of people from federal prison. And Obama did 5.
Right.
At the end of that, probably one of his agendas. But if you start this My Brother's Keeper campaign, got all the other things in place and stuff, if it has some significance to you, it's important.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have no immediate family members in jail. I'm not knocking nobody that do.
Right.
But that's not really a concern of mine.
Right.
You know, my children's education, the programs that I out there for it. I'm a small business owner. The programs that are out there for me. I do a lot of youth mentoring and stuff like that in my community and even outside of my community, locally and nationally. What kind of funding is out there? And there were programs out there to fund it. That if it doesn't immediately impact you, you can't really trip on it. You know what I'm saying?
And most people give their opinion on things of what they're, you know, what they think someone's doing, a politician is doing, but they're giving their opinion on things that affect them.
Exactly.
What affects you may not affect me.
Exactly.
I might not need that. That's not what I need in my household.
Exactly. Affect you, or if you got a damn interest in it.
Right.
And here's one of the things, man, with that whole thought process. Like I said, I get that stuff a lot. I get that a lot. You don't listen to nobody. I listen to people. But if you the type of person you can't really explain whatever, that's some shit you need to work on. That's some shit you need to work on.
That's why you gotta have a better presentation.
Exactly.
Of things when you get ready to spew your opinion, you gotta be ready to debate and back up your opinion as stated.
You see, it's never really an issue until you have to probably vocalize your opinion. Because if you just live in your own world and the way you are, you know, just affects you or your household, that's fine. But you start getting things where you actually have to do certain outside of that, like, nah, man, I don't agree with it. And this is why. And then, you know, because maybe it may be a situation where we got a certain thing we got to get accomplished, Lab.
Right.
And you have a way you're like, I don't think of that, and I can tell you the way I feel. But at the end of the day, we still got to accomplish a certain goal. Some way we got to find some kind of common ground to get the thing done. I might got to lose a little bit of mine. You might got to lose a little bit of yours. But at the end of the day, the end game is still supposed to be a common goal.
Right.
And I think a lot of times people get so stuck on that. You see that with our politicians, how many bills that can impact people in a positive way don't get passed. Going to that point, what I think is impactful and good for me may not be good for you.
Right.
And I think people just get so caught into their world, the way they see it. I'm sorry.
Lion Lady Love said, do you know the Making Man's Conference, Derek Bowsman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let us make man.
Let us make man.
Yeah, let us make man.
Yeah. She said, you know about that conference.
Yeah. They it should be coming up. They either do it like I think at the end of spring each year and everything. Let us make man.
Okay.
I met Bozeman. I'm Facebook friend with Bozeman too. I met him at people don't know I'm a treasurer for 100 Black Men South Metro. I met him at our economic empowerment conference.
Oh, okay.
I talked to him a couple times. He real solid brother. And I think Let Us Make Man is a very productive event. I don't know what they're doing it at this year. They were doing it down there in Savannah, starting off, then they went to Columbus. I don't know if they ever done it in Atlanta. But it's a real good program. I think they've been doing it probably about maybe 10 years with doing it. Some for me would never be in before. Usually during that time, they was doing the qualifiers for track. Like, you know, we got some kind of thing going on.
Right.
But that's going on and stuff like that. But I am familiar with it.
She said that's her family.
Okay, cool. Now,
Yeah.
Now he's a solid brother. I met him at economic empowerment conference.
Okay.
Because when I was doing the finance show on WAOK with Rob, he had a show on WAOK. I don't know if Bowman's still on AOK or not.
Oh, okay.
But when I was doing that, you know, I was going there and Mr. Short Dollar giving out the free tax tips,
right,
and everything. Yeah, he had a real good informative show on WAOK. He used to be city councilman.
Oh, okay.
For Atlanta too. Real solid brother. Even when, you know, just being in, you know, a member of the 100, we had board meetings, committee meetings all the time, and like I say, I appreciate something I even told the brothers there, and I always appreciate when things can get done, because you got guys that be like, man, this, I know it may not be said, but you know, they're thinking, man, this guy's an idiot. But the goal is the goal.
Right.
If we trying to impact and help these kids, put that to the side. How I feel about you, how I think this, that, and that.
We'll come back around to that.
Yeah. Or just let it be. Look, we just trying to get this done.
Right.
And let that go, because the goal is the goal. I can't sit here and say I want to actually be a mentor helping these young men in the community if I'm worried about, man, Lab didn't speak to me when he came in the damn room.
Right.
Man. Damn your sensitive ass.
That's usually how
you know what I'm saying? Lab didn't speak to me. He came in the room. He just came in and sat down.
Right.
Man. You know.
I'm funny acting like that.
You know, and everything. What's up to my cousin Robert and came in? What's up, cuz? You know, what's up to me? I think that's one of the things that, you know, once we people can get past that, because I'm gonna say this, Lab, that's kind of how I raised my children. I raised my children that way to deal with people. Like, don't be afraid to ask why. Be respectful. But one thing I always push, and like I said, this is how I raised my children.
Okay.
I raised my children to think. When I was you know, I'm proud APS graduate, but I've been listen, guys.
You from real Atlanta?
Yeah, y'all from.
You ain't from College Park now. You from Atlanta real, right? You in the APS system.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just
I'm a proud bankhead product.
Okay.
But
just asking.
Shout out my girl April Showers. She done went ballistic with all this and everything. I love April. You know, what I'm about to say. No, I've been tested and late gifted since elementary school.
Okay.
And I remember when, you know, I say all this to say that when you go through the Atlanta Public School program challenge, I don't know if they still got it or not, but they used to bus us from all the different schools. It wasn't that many smart kids, so they used to bus us from all the schools and send us to one school once a week. I'll let you know how many damn dummies we had. Let's get all they drive all the Atlanta public schools, the elementary schools, pick us up and take us to Harwell over there on Harwell Road.
Okay.
It's Bunch Middle School now.
Okay.
But they used to take us over there for gifted classes, right?
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So the basis is one of the biggest things they had with just being a gifted student was always logic, thinking. So that's where I get a lot of logic, deductive reasoning, cognitive thinking, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what it was always why, looking at things 8 or 9 different ways, doing it. So that's what the whole basic, you know, if you have a child that goes to a gifted program,
Right.
that's kind of like one of the bases of it. They teach kids how to think.
Okay.
Break stuff up, looking for a million different ways. That's kind of what the basis of why the reason I am now.
Lion Lady Love say she went to Turner High School.
Turner High School. Okay, cool. My mama live over that way now. That new little high rise by Dixie Hill.
Kip now.
Kip there, yeah, it's Kip.
Yeah.
It's Kip. It's Kip. We trained kids for I dare you over there.
And I went to Lane Tech High School
Lane Tech.
in the greater Ravenswood, Illinois area.
Love you a miss, man.
Because I'm from Chicago, not Atlanta.
Grove Park, West Fulton, and Harper High. But you know, when they taught us that, as far as how to think, you know, and everything, just logically, that reasoning, that was the basic of the basis of going through the gifted program, and all through high school too. I did all that shit, man. The high Q, we used to get blasted. We go get the white schools, man. I wish I could find that film. You know, we were doing the high Q. I just wish I could see the films, man. My kids gotta be lying. I said, man, I was on there getting everything wrong.
Everything. I wish I could see the film. Maybe it's on YouTube. What's it called?
You know, high Q.
Okay.
You ever seen that with they have high schools. It used to be every Saturday.
Was it different high schools from different states?
Yeah, no. It was just like Metro Atlanta. So we would go play not play, but just compete with kids from Walton County, Gwinnett County, and stuff like that.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
You didn't hear me when I said I'm from Chicago.
I got you, but they may still have it.
Okay.
But it was called High Q.
Okay.
It was a competition. There you have it, you know, and everything. And I'm on the team from West Fulton.
Okay.
So, man, shoot, man. Again, you know, your boy don't be getting talking about nobody, but hey, man, I'm sitting there looking like, hey, man, shit.
WSB.
Yeah, give me some damn help. Yeah, WSB.
Lady Love said it was on. Lady Line Love said it was on.
Yeah,
WSB.
WSB on Channel 2 every Saturday morning.
Okay.
So, like, you know, we would compete, you know, with other high schools, just like a trivia thing.
Okay.
Have a team and stuff like that. And, but, you know, we used to do that, and it was just like, yeah, that when you were doing that competition, made me realize how much shit I didn't know. And if you ain't really cut right, you would have inferiority to a lot of white folks, because you'd be like, you feel like you're smart, you be confident, and you get in competition like, how the hell?
They didn't know that.
Yeah, and I just think that was just what I felt was, and there's no knock on our instructors that we had, and it's just why I'm so adamant about helping young people. I think that they did the best that they could with what they had.
Okay.
I think those actual teams, where I can look back at it now, they probably practiced and were funded, prepped better.
Yeah, they were prepped.
We were prepped, but we weren't prepped like they were prepped.
Okay.
Because, I mean, they were like, man, come on now.
Yeah, they probably got the test. They probably got the questions beforehand.
Exactly. I ain't too quick to talk about somebody smarter than me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I am lab. I don't give people that.
They were prepared better.
Yeah. You know, I ain't too quick to talk about they smarter than me. Yeah, they were better. Yeah, they were better prepared that particular day.
We didn't have no busing in Chicago. You went to whatever school you wanted to go to. It was up to you to get there.
Exactly. But but circling back, but that's kind of how I taught my kids to think respectfully. Be respectful with adults, but understand why. Because don't be so quick to just take what people tell you. I did a video about the other week about, parents a lot of times tell your kids shut the hell up and just do what the hell I tell you to do, and you never give them an opportunity. Well, Daddy, why we doing that? Mom, why we doing that? And sometimes your child being being disrespectful.
Right.
But if they say, hey, Daddy, why we gonna do that? We can do it this way. Sometimes I'm gonna listen, because what happens is, when you have raised a child and you constantly suppressing them from asking questions, from being inquisitive, right? Because I always say, this, and I won't go back there in a second. When we suppress that, and we fast forward to 17, 18 years old, and it's time for them to get ready to leave the nest, and you saying, dumbass, you can't think for yourself, whatever. We had more to do with that than anything. I always tell people, especially, you looking at inner city, you have a kid that may have been a smart child in elementary school, but when they start going, in negative ways, middle and high school, brain capacity don't disappear. But they starts using that intelligence in a negative way.
Okay.
That's when you get your drug kingpins, your credit card scheming folks, your people that's doing all these kind of stuff. They're still smart, but for whatever reason, they didn't choose to use it in a positive manner. And you have to be very, very careful of that with your children. Tell them, with certain things. So when you have a child that's asking questions, I tell my kids, man, find out. Don't just be so damn blind out there. I always tell them, man, don't be afraid to ask why. Not that you being disrespectful, but you want to get what? Clarity.
Right.
Understand why, okay, you say, okay, I get it. You still may not agree with it, but you know their point of view. My granddad always told me, he was very adamant about this, Poochie, when you talking to a man, don't you leave that conversation without them make sure they know what the hell you talking about or where you coming from.
And you know what they talking about.
When you deal with Poochie, you gonna understand. No, don't play stupid. No, that ain't what I said.
Right.
No. Well, it sounded like when you talk like that, you mean it this way or you come. No. What I said is what I meant.
Right.
And you know that all how you interpret it or how you feel because of the delivery. What I said is what I meant. And I always tell my children that. Find out what the hell. If you do not understand, they don't want to expound on it, you can't control that.
Right.
But you need to make sure that you try to get proper clarity on that. Because you don't want no fool guiding you.
Right.
You do not want that. And I'm probably in the harsh word with fool, but somebody that misguided or misinformed. Because if you know another way, state it. You can't control if they're going to accept it or not. You can't control if they're going to hear it or not. But you can control that you said it. But you need to try to get full clarity. And I always tell them, man, don't be afraid to disagree with them once they done gave their point. Like if you don't feel like what they said was sufficient enough for you to move with it, like, man, that's just it. But also this other thing, just for any one of us, but it's one thing, and I think if you'd have ran across my children, you kind of see that. Very respectful men, but I always say that be prepared to articulate how you feel. Be prepared.
Pat, I'll ask that question at the end when we done, then we'll circle back around to it.
Okay, cool.
And get our opinion on that. But I got you. Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah, but I tell them, be prepared to articulate why you feel the way you feel, and be okay if they don't agree with you. Look, man, I'm telling you, this is whatever, and everybody, no matter what, you can just lay it out. Bam.
Yeah. When I got my I got the psychology. When I got my bachelor's of sciences degree for psychology,
look at
the professor told me when you have children that ask questions and you stop those kids from asking those questions, they start assuming and getting the answers for themselves. Then generally it's wrong. You don't have a chance to guide them the proper way in which you would want, or even to help them go down that proper path that you may want them to go, or they may need to go, because every time they ask you a question, you're suppressing that question. So now they don't take the time to even ask you no more. They go ahead and just do it, and then it may be wrong. So and that's even with adults. If a person feel like if I feel like I'm going to Poochie and I'm asking Poochie a question, and every time I ask Poochie a question, he go, God, I won't stop asking you that question. I'm gonna stop asking you questions, and I'm just gonna start doing it the way I think it needs, in my opinion, the way I think it needs to be done. Because obviously, I'm bothering you and getting on your nerves by asking you these questions.
Yeah, keep in mind what I said about my son. I ain't say, man, why the hell you asked me that? That's a stupid question. Right. I didn't say that. First thing I'm in my mind, man, where you get that from? I want to get clarity, see what he's thinking, because in his mind, he sees it one way, and it's on me to sit here and just state that. I'm not gonna. Hey, man, why may have me no dumbass question? You idiot. Why you ask?
But see, a lot of times people don't realize that you don't even have to say certain words like that. Your expressions, the way you look, the way you turn. I mean, a lot of things will lead into a person not wanting to ask you any more questions.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to be rough and rugged with them, or to, to make them stop doing it. Your eyes may roll. I mean, it may not have anything to do with the question, but at that particular time, that's what happened. So now he feeling like he's getting on your nerve by asking you these questions.
And it can be very, like you check see if in my Facebook, and the result can be very, very, very impactful on your child.
Right.
You know, when you sitting there, like you said, the emotions, the response, the mannerisms. That's a good point, brother. That they can be so impactful.
You may not have to say a word.
Because one of my greatest fears with my children is, I don't say you got to disbelieve or go. I always say, you got to go by. If you don't feel comfortable with what Daddy is saying about a subject, hey man, figure it out. I'm just giving you my opinion. That's why I feel that way. But what I don't want them is just totally avoiding talking to me and talk to one of their little dumbass friends, getting stuff without, like, hey man, why you holler at me about that? That is a fear. And in some cases that's been the case. Not because I think I did anything wrong, in my opinion, but more so like sometimes it been issues they like, well, I know how you feel about this. But I can tell you why I feel. Sometimes people just want to get confirmation from a source, even though they may feel it's right, they just want somebody to agree with them so they can move in a certain direction, And we all probably had that thing, like you got somebody close to you or a mentor. They said, man, boy, go on and do it. Y'all believe in you, whatever.
Right.
I had one of my close mentors, shout out Daryl Crawford, when I was looking to just go out there and be self-employed, like, I'm laying all these different reasons, man, I had everything. The money was straight, everything was stacked up. I was ready to go. And I really called him to just, I needed some kind of, I needed a confirmation because I was sitting there like, man, I probably work another 7-8 months. I had everything. The money was straight. It was time for me to leave and go out that step, but I was scared. But I just needed somebody to just push me off that ledge. And me and him talked. I said, yeah, I'm wait a couple months. Derek, I'll never forget, he called me and baby, I phone. Your ass ready. Appreciate that.
And that was your confirmation?
That was it. And sometimes you just need that. Your children, you need from a friend or somebody that that can do that. But it coming from a person that you actually know that it's credible. You know what I'm saying? They ain't just shooting from the hip.
Right.
Just tell you to go quit your job and go fry some chicken and you don't know nothing about business. Sometimes it work.
But I got the best chicken ever.
Yeah. Cause that's just like, you in business and you're in life. In life, I will say this, you'll be at no shortage of getting opinions.
Right.
Now you're gonna be kind of tough getting, good advice or solid person from a credible, verifiable person. But sometimes if you don't know the right person that can give that advice, and that maybe you have to dig for them, you might got to pay for them or whatever. If you haven't really went on that search to do that or acquire that, that's all you're gonna be stuck with. Everybody's words and opinions.
Oh, okay.
And you gotta be real with it. And also be okay with hearing some stuff you really didn't want to hear. That's the other thing. You going in one direction, another person like, nah, I don't think I do it that way. I get that a lot with people that book consulting appointments. When I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I had a brother call a couple weeks ago. He was very adamant, like, man, I'm trying to listen to these folks, but I'm telling him right now I'm trying to form. He said he was getting an umbrella company. He was starting out the other company. I'm like, man, I don't think you need to do that. Why not? I said, you ain't really got one business straight. Right. You worried about getting all these other companies and putting them up under each other and all that kind of stuff. Like, no, man, that Jeff Bezos and Warren Buffett got folks messed up. And they thinking everybody can have all these different companies. Like, nah, look, man. You, instead of worrying about having 5 companies that make $3 a piece, why don't you get you one company that make $100?
Right.
And then from that point, you can kind of, get that together. Then you can start branching off.
Yeah.
But that don't sound as glamorous as, saying, I own this, I own that, I own that. And again, you talk to a person that's a serial entrepreneur, stuff ain't easy.
Right.
It ain't easy.
Pat said you have to bite your tongue because there's power in not reacting.
Power in not reacting?
Yeah.
And a lot of that come with maturity. That's a good point. A lot of that come with maturity. Just be like, okay, look, I understand that this person is speaking and I know that this person don't know nothing about that subject.
Mm-hmm.
I know they don't.
Right.
They just saying something or whatever. I got you. I listen to you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to you, whatever. You know everything. You're not blowing them off, but you understand like that ain't even foregone. You can tell them, but some folks just gonna be. We call the military. They're gonna troubleshoot you. You know, just no matter what they are gonna say something, shoot your ideas down or whatever, and you just gotta be smart enough to understand who's gonna be not necessarily telling you what you want to hear, but who's actually can give you the actual information. Because we can all sit around, like I said, just give our opinions of how we feel about something, but you know them sources in there that had experience, education, training on a particular item.
Right, and maybe they're not. Maybe they're just making sure that you have all your ducks in a row too. I mean, they may be just. I mean, shooting stuff at you to make sure you got your ducks in a row because they've been down that path and they want to make sure you good. And then they'll throw their opinion about how they did and what they think is one of the ways you may not want to go that way, or one of the reasons why you may want to go that way. You know.
I've been in them situations before. People just trying to poke at see even tie your screws up, see if you're gonna fold or snap, or how you gonna handle certain difficult situations. I've been down that road before with doing that. And that's kind of like I said, that last point I tell my kids, like, be okay with, you don't sit there and explain your way, and they still just you've articulated how you felt,
right?
And that person still don't agree with you. Okay, brother, sister, we just agree to disagree, and just keep it moving. Keep it moving. Now we still gotta get this other stuff done. They have, like I said, this is stuff that's, especially we start talking about religion, parenting. I think you should take your kids to church. I think y'all should, go to church every Sunday. I think that, the army is for, that's a white man's army and do this, that, and that. But you have tons of people that have success that went to the military. Everybody that doesn't go to church is not living a bad life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of stuff, but because that's what you've been subjected to and that worked for you, it did work for you. It doesn't make another person wrong. And what happens a lot of times, people make a lot of opinions on the unknown.
Right.
Or
like telling your child, graduate high school and go to college.
Yeah.
Some kids don't college ain't for them.
It ain't for them. But see, the thing, the other table, I always say that, even with my kids, if you don't go, what you gonna do? What's your game plan? This, that, and that. I don't know. Shit, bro, you gotta get out of here.
I don't know an answer.
Because even with my opinion with the military, disabled veteran, I love the military. Take a year or two and go figure it out.
Right.
And I'm kind of stuck on that. If you don't know what you're doing, instead of sitting at your mama house a year or two, you don't mess around and get no, what I feel, something to get you stuck. A baby, a car note, or something to get you stuck. Now you got to keep working at a particular job. Now just go out, go somewhere, figure it out, try it is, and then you can kind of go, okay, cool. I don't want to do that. I want to get my barber license. I want to become a carpenter. I want to start doing certain things and stuff like that. And also just I'll be respecting it. I haven't had one of my kids come to me and say, Dad, I want to be a rapper. But I would definitely, and I'm very afraid of it, just so everybody knows. But I know I'll still go back to where I said, like, why you feel that way? What's your game plan?
Right.
With doing it.
But then they give you a game plan, you gonna go with it. Like they were like, well, I got this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and it's all in a row, and you really can't find no holes in it. Then you gotta respect it, right?
Yeah, respect it.
Okay.
Give it a try.
Okay.
Give it a try, because that's one thing me and Williams had. The baby had a conversation. I forgot what the hell it was, but hey, go try it out. Go try it out and everything. Big shout out to my baby boy William. They had a awards program today at the school. He zoomed, I tuned in for the awards program. Ain't got a damn award. I told his ass, I said, hey, Will, when your teacher came up, I done cut my damn Zoom. I done cut my picture. I'm like, I'm getting hyped.
Ready.
Mrs. Malone's class. She done said 3 names.
Right.
And I'm like this on my damn, because like I said, I cut the video on. I'm like, y'all finna get like, yeah, that's my boy.
Right,
that's my,
right.
I ain't called his name or nothing.
One award.
When he got home from school today, he walked in, I know. Hey, you got me on. I said, I cut my damn camera on.
All right. What you got me up on this Zoom? You didn't get called one time.
I got that 1C. Well, damn, Will, you telling me Like I said, I had just cut my camera on, Miss Malone class. Okay, that's me. That's me.
Right.
I said 3 names. I said, what the hell?
And one of them 3 wasn't Will.
Yeah, damn sure wasn't Will. Definitely wasn't Will.
Oh, wow.
And man, it was so damn funny, man. Me and he got home. I know. As soon as he walked in the damn door, man, I had just cut my camera on. I said, you know I'm finna floss?
Right.
Yeah. I know. That's my baby, boy.
Right.
That was funny as hell, man. I'm all hyped up, man.
You ready?
Yeah, this is Changing Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. We're talking tonight, we're talking about respecting others' opinion. And right now we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. What I want to give you guys now is some methods that can help you show respect, to be able to respect somebody's opinion. I think if you kind of have an open mind, as you know, you go through some certain interactions with people that are expressing their opinions, that are expressing how they feel, this will help you more easily process to do it. Because it's going to be a work. Because definitely, I'm going to say this about people in general. You are how you are. We can only try it. And I always say, once you get north of 40, it's hard to get out of old habits.
You can't expect you out of other people. You can't expect you out of other people.
But like I said, with that, it takes a degree of maturity and life experience to understand that and accept that.
Right.
So, but I want to give you guys some methods to help you be able to respect and accept others' opinions and be able to, function and move with them towards a common goal, or just be able to interact with them, period, when you're polar opposites. The first thing is, number one, listen to people. When you I don't want that, well, F you. You can't expect folks to respect you.
Right.
You won't even listen to them.
I listen to the response because I'm waiting for
you feel me? So many times people try to, I don't even want to talk about it. I just listen to everything you said. What you mean you can't listen to me?
Right.
No, and from that point forward, we're not dealing with each other.
Okay.
Because I done said that you got to give me that respect.
That I gave you.
Yeah, exactly. Give me that respect.
Reciprocate.
Yeah. You ain't got to agree, but I just sat there and listened to every damn thing you said. And in the future, if I have to listen, I'm not going to interact with you.
Right.
Because you're going to see it one way. You at least listen to me.
Right.
Listen to what I said.
Right.
I ain't say stand there and just hear me. Listen to me.
Okay.
Now, again, like I said, if it's mumbo jumbo, you still don't agree, you got to. But at least give me that respect and listen to me. You got to listen to people. The second thing is try your best to understand their point of view. I ain't saying you're going to, but like I said, I go back to it. My granddad always said it. Make sure that they understand what the hell you said. Now, again, if you're dealing with Mr. Crayola, Simple Simon, come on. You be like, man, that joker that done here. I ain't getting in that damn thick ass skull. You know what I'm saying? Some conversations are just above some people's capacity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they just whatever.
People need to fact check
there you
before
go.
they speak.
There you go. And they'll just throw things out and they don't know facts.
Right.
They don't know facts. You know, but like I said, we go back to what? Them strong opinions.
Right.
It's a big difference between those and facts. And when you're talking to these folks, you just can't. You know how far you're gonna get with a conversation. You feel me? So that's the thing about it. You got to try the best to understand their point of view. If you know you're dealing with somebody that's, from a certain era, and they just feel the way they feel, you see that a lot with gay rights and stuff. People just so stuck on how they feel. The world done changed. So how you feel is how you feel.
Right.
But the world done went on past you.
Right.
So you can still feel the way you feel, but it's different.
Right.
It's different. We can go to what the Bible say this about. I get it, but that ain't what the law say. So we can go in all, like I said, these strong opinions.
Right.
And at the end of the day, you're really getting outnumbered. So the sooner you can not, you don't have to agree, but you got to respect certain things, right? That's the third. And the third one is you got to try to empathize with others' opinions. Try to, like I said, kind of have some kind of understanding. Some understanding. Because again, they may be raised that certain way.
Put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah, they may be their mental capacity. It may be the economic restrictions they've had. Because sometimes, let's be real. When we talk about this like from a legal standpoint, with certain laws getting impacted. Do the black man on Bankhead had the same agenda as the black man in Buckhead.
Mm.
Still black. You may have some common things, say police, racial profile and things like that. But one trying to survive, and one trying to sit here and get his kid in Harvard. One's trying to sit here and increase his net worth. One trying to get a job. It's totally different.
Right.
It's totally different. So again, you got to be able to understand, where that stuff coming from, and the sooner you can be like accepting. Look, man, he kind of, and I had to learn, a lot of that stuff dealing with a lot of different boys. You got a lot of brothers from different eras. You're like, okay, man, cool. The thing of it is, with me being a master craftsman, I got to understand the way to pitch or adjust it, knowing who you're talking to. That's what you said. That way you have your blue blood salesman. They know no matter who it is, I got to give them this way. You know what I'm saying? They say in the hood, he's just a super gang spitter.
Right.
He know how to crack that. You got to know how to crack that egg. No matter how challenging it is, you got to know how to talk it. And you got to know whoever that audience is, what they need to hear to make a move.
Right. He got game.
You got to have game. Everybody ain't got it, Lamb.
Right.
Everybody ain't like some folks asking, some folks demanding. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. If you got it, you know it.
Right.
And those type of things, that really determines, how effective you can be with certain things. Especially people like those people that are very good salespeople. It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. Whoever the audience is, they just need to get there.
Right.
So those particular things are very important. Be able to empathize with their opinions. Another thing is, this is very used, people. Apologize when you're wrong. When you're wrong, hey man, look, I'm sorry, I didn't even understand it. I get it. An apology, if you're wrong, is probably one of the most ultimate diffusers. Because you're showing humility, man. I ain't even understand that. My bad. Okay, I get it. Okay, cool. I thought it was something else. Or look, I'm sorry. Sorry to cut you off, but listen, can you explain that again?
Right.
Just that simple apology takes so much tension out of the room, because they know this person, they got some kind of humility. This person is willing to talk to them or whatever. Even in your mind, I don't agree with it, but we.
Apologizing is like nails on chalkboard.
Yeah.
Nobody want to hear that shit.
Yeah, but when I say that, when I say apology, see, I'm sorry does not, when I did that particular thing and I interrupted you, or I was looking at it from a different way, I apologize. That's a sincere apology instead of I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But when you address, okay, this is exactly what I apologize for, this is what I felt like I was wrong at, it does, a lot of times have an impact with doing that. And again, even helps you, the person that apologized, be able to grow.
Right.
To say, okay, look, I can address it. Because you got so many people, man, that are adults, can't admit they wrong. You see that? Just think what we'll be at right now in society if a lot of these police interactions didn't have cameras there.
Right.
Folks know they wrong. Folks know they done seen wrong. And you go on some of these, look at all these videos, you see these folks be managers at stores, folks working in local government, just like you go into your tag office or different places. I didn't say that.
It's right here.
All your half high trolls, Coach Johnny Chandler, we be at every Monday before practice. We look at the game film.
Okay.
Before practice on Monday, and Coach be sitting there like, Poochie, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. I did block my man. I did. Okay, mother. He'll say mother. He used the word.
Okay.
He say it all the time. The eye in the sky don't lie, son. The eye in the sky don't lie.
Okay.
So you sitting there looking at the film. Now you gotta make a decision. Are you gonna be that big an idiot? You see you didn't do that.
Right.
What do you do? What's going on, son? My bad, coach. And at the end of that, like I said, you don't have to go there. If you're wrong, you say you're wrong. If you're wrong, if you misinterpreted what they said, man, I'm sorry. I ain't even get it that way. I apologize. I'm thinking this way. Cool. Just be able to do that. Again, we're talking about ways you can show respect to a person.
Okay.
Be the bigger person. I ain't saying compromise your integrity to apologize for no damn reason. But if you know you're wrong, just say it, okay? All right? And lastly, be able to, if y'all can't see eye to eye, disagree respectfully. Like, bro, we can agree to disagree. I don't really see it that way. You know what I'm saying? I respect how you feel, but I just choose to go another way with it. but let's take care of this.
Mm-hmm.
Or let's try to find that. And disagree respectfully.
Okay.
He's stupid. They crazy as hell. You know, I done heard it all. Crazy, man. That's a very bright person.
Right.
And to get the goal we need to accomplish, we do need them. So instead of you chastising them about a certain way they think or a certain way they live or act that's not impacting you, you might want to just, hey, man, just chill.
Disagree to disagree.
There you go.
I digress.
Yeah, that's what I said. Respect, disagree respectfully.
Right.
And I think when people can actually do that, we'll see a lot more positive stuff come out. Again, this changed a lot. Hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Tonight's show we discuss respecting others' opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight.
I got one question.
Talk to me.
Miss Pat. Miss Pat has been looking at the show the whole time.
Okay.
She's multitasking, watching the Hawks, and looking at the show.
Okay, cool.
So her question was,
okay,
she wanted to know about the video that went viral about not Atlanta. I'm not from Atlanta, Pat, so I can't give you my opinion on that really, because I'm from Chicago. I mean, born and raised. About it. Yeah, what's your thoughts on it? What do you think about it?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's a good question. Well, I grew up on that Bankhead, and you know, I was I think a serial dater when I was in high school. So, what I always remember, and this is funny with that, and it's just speaking of personal. So, like in them '90s, that's when you had, you know, the exodus where black folks moving to DeKalb, just say that Latonia, Stone Mountain, Hidden Hills. I think these are probably like hood spots now. But that's where, you know, these were upper middle class black neighborhoods. Maybe some were moving to the south side. You didn't really have, if they moved to the south side or moved to Cobb, they were, you know, middle class or upper middle class, but definitely like, I had a little girlfriend stayed over there in Stone Mountain. I remember that Hidden Hills area. And what happened, what I always remember, if you acknowledge that, hey, I'm from the west side, I grew up in Atlanta, they look like you from damn Beirut. I mean, that was just, I just remembered that. Just, you were kind of shunned upon if you from the city from other black folks around. I remember that vividly. I'm speaking of them 90s now.
Okay.
So, like I said, this is before, you know, you close the projects and everybody had vouchers to move out. I'm just saying, when I dealt with them little girls outside, whatever, and they daddies be like, hey, yeah, stay over there. You know, I get that, oh, well, bring him back over here. You daddy, you don't know. I call the shots, you know. But I just remember that's how that was received, you know. So it's funny, but when I went in the Army and you get there, you know, the guy be like, hey, man, you know, guy they say you from Atlanta. I'm like, where you from, man? Oh, I grew up I'm from McDonald's. Stop. You know, huh? So again,
you was in the Army at this time.
Yeah, but I'm in the Army then, you know, again, so you fast forward a couple years, that was foreign to me because no one ever looked at it like that, because everybody, Atlanta was always kind of like it is now. So shit, that's crazy here. They killing everybody up there every day.
Right.
You know, but that's just, you know, when you live in there, it was cool. If you was on the west side, you live, you know, just say, you get Cleveland, and you had, like, you know, even East Atlanta, kind of like the one my grandma stayed by, Kirkwood and stuff like that and stuff. You know, it's just straight, you know, APS schools, you lived there. But like I said, then you had all these projects. That's just how the city was. But outside, I'm just speaking. From your experience. My experience. Right. And I had an experience.
Okay.
Like I said, those little girl, I just remember that the perception was if you lived in the city, like, nah, it was just kind of like, nah, whatever. So that was a kind of a shocker to me when I got in the military, and you meet all these folks that are from Atlanta, and none of them, and it was probably a handful of guys that I knew APS graduates, right? But most of them were from the suburbs.
Right.
I think we done went past that. I think once they closed the projects and flattened everything out, you know, that changed because everybody moved out.
Right.
Yeah. But I just remembered growing up, that was the thing because, you know, just like, you know, you had the advent of white flight, moving out of Atlanta when black folks, probably my granddaddy moved in to Atlanta in the 60s. It was majority because, you know, in that West Fulton area, West Fulton used to be all white high school.
Okay.
So I know when he bought that house over there in the 60s, which was, you know, kind of, you know, white folks moving out. So then you start having the thing where black folks start moving from the cities because those outskirts areas, you know, we moving out, white folks moving further out.
Right.
So when they started doing that, and I remember that, like, if you from native of Atlanta, I don't know if people remember when Stone Mountain, and you know J.B. Stoner. That were the claims had a headquarters on. They may still have it. But J.B. Stoner was the Imperial Grand Wizard.
Right.
They used to be burning all the flags, and people, black folks, wanted to move there. And remember, like even the school, they had the cab had what was called MDM, a minority majority, and you would get them kids from probably like Candler Road, Gresham Park area, maybe going to Dunwoody, maybe going to Druid Hills and stuff like that. They stayed in the hood. My partner went to Lakeside, so I'm just saying they were busting these guys and over there, and it was just it was a stigma if you from the city. So I just remember that, and like I said, it was a culture shock, and you meet guys in the military, what the hell you talking about, you know, because it never approached that, but it was easier. But as the years went by, they closed the projects, opened up, I think it's kind of like a mute point. We're doing it, and the other thing about it, and I'm just say this too, I'm one of the few people that still own the property in Atlanta. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, exactly. They still got my stuff from over there and stuff. So, I don't get too caught up in that.
Well, I'm gonna give you an opinion from me being from Chicago. Chicago is Chicago. It's it's the city. I'm from the city of Chicago, growing up in Sacramento. So Chicago is Chicago. And when we were growing up, we could go to any school. We all chose pretty much to go to schools within our area, which we knew. I went to Ravenswood, but we all kind of chose, and we could go to school wherever we wanted to. It was up to us to get there. We didn't have no bus program at that time. It was like, for us, we had 2 elementary schools and a high school in each neighborhood. So you had elementary school on one corner, you had elementary school on the next corner, and you had high school in the middle. That's how Chicago was set up. Yeah. But we didn't have to necessarily go to that high school within that neighborhood. We didn't have to we could go to the high school. We could use our address in that neighborhood and go to the high school somewhere else. We just had to get there.
Gotcha.
That was getting there was our problem. We didn't have to use an address, nobody else's address in Chicago. We could go to another high school somewhere else. It was just up to us to get there.
Yeah, that wasn't the thing with
you get what I'm saying? So even when we were even then when I was in high school, most of my friends stayed within that area because, in Chicago you have gangs, so you don't really want to travel out to certain schools and then come back to your neighborhood because you may be in a school that is a rival gang. It's just a big headache. So
confused down, I got you.
Right. So it just keeps the beatings less if you stay within your neighborhood. So, but you got Evanston, you got Riverdale. We have a Riverdale. You got Dalton, you got Calumet City, you got Harvey. All those in Markham, you got all those areas around, and those people say that they're from Chicago. But Harvey is not Chicago. Markham is not Chicago. Riverdale, Dalton, and Calumet City are not Chicago. We've got a place called Chicago Heights that's way out. That's not Chicago. So I get what they're saying, but at the same time, like you said, we have people that move from Chicago out to the suburbs. When they turn the projects that we had that was on lakefront, you know what happened with that? Yeah. Our projects was on the lakefront. Mm-hmm. They turned them to $1 million condos. So those people had to go somewhere. So they moved out to the suburbs and stuff like that. So they still, I think with us, they still represent Chicago because they always feel like they're from Chicago, even though they live on the outskirts. Yeah. Everything they do is within Chicago. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? They go to school there, they hang out there, and when it's time to go home, they go to where they live. Look at it
like that.
Right.
But I think a big change came with, the whole Freaknik HBCU experience. Mm-hmm. People moving down to the city, so they just say we come from a different state. We just moving to Atlanta, because it's easy to say you moving to Atlanta, and you moving to College Park or you moving to Lawton. Easy to say we going to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So I think that whole Olympics, Freaknik, and all that kind of stuff just kind of made it easier for people moving down here because you don't really see too many people like me that are natives. Mm-hmm. With doing that and everything, because one thing about the city of Atlanta is not really like Chicago or Memphis or probably New York. The city of Atlanta is not that big it's bigger once you put in all the different the suburbs of it, Metro Atlanta. But those cities like that, those are big cities.
Oh, yeah, they're big.
Yeah, they're big cities, you know, and Atlanta's not like that. But I think a lot of times, just with the migration of people, that would change it. But I always just remember that was one thing with when I was growing up. It was just, you kind of shunned upon outside, especially with black folks. that had moved,
Mhm.
it was like, okay, it was like a thing. Okay, we've got out of there,
Mhm.
and they were really like, okay, that was there, and you were kind of shunned upon.
Well,
You
my
stayed.
thing was for me when I first moved to Atlanta. I was going to Morehouse and I went back home but I was going to Morehouse. I had an issue with Atlanta because I was driving around 285 for about 7 hours before I realized it was a circle. I was like, didn't we pass that? Didn't we pass that out? Who the hell builds a circle in the middle of the city? That's what I'm saying.
But I always say, even with that, when you come to Atlanta and even go to other cities, I think it's probably one of the easiest places to travel through. Just as far as like, once you know where you're at and stuff.
Yeah.
When you start looking how the exits are set up, I think it's probably one of the easiest places. Some cities, it can be very confusing.
Right.
Traveling around, but when you don't like the major spots, once you know 285 and know where you're at,
yeah.
But it's probably one of the easier places to travel. But to answer that question, that would have always stuck with me growing up.
Right. Yeah.
Because we tried to break our neck to get them little girls out there in Lithonia. They had cars.
Right.
They had everything. Hey man. That was the thing. They had their own car. They had a little money and everything. You got a little West Side slicksters. We used to let me stop. That was my little story about that.
Right. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Okay.
But I'm very proud of the city of Atlanta, even whatever the growth of it and everything like that. And I hope everything can go in a good direction with everything. Because I do love my city. I've been in the military, been all around the world, and I do feel like Atlanta one of the best places. I'd have some fun in a lot of places and stuff like that, but ain't nothing like home.
Right.
But I can sit here and tell you that now, even with all that love you have, I ain't finna move back down Bankhead right now till they get now maybe a year or two when they get out of them other high rises. But I ain't finna go over there right now.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, just we're gonna keep it real.
Right.
Like, no, just but I just think that's just something people just having a little pride with doing it and everything like that. Cause them Atlanta in the '90s were rough. It was fun, but it was rough. And I think most cities were like that. So especially you had crack cocaine and all that other kind of stuff. It was rough. It was fun. It was rough.
Pat say she started out at John White Park, then the Freaknik kind of spiraled out of control. Y'all love the Freaknik, man. Y'all love some Freaknik. Every time I talk to somebody from Atlanta, they bring up the Freaknik. And, I wasn't here. I didn't come to Atlanta until late.
Freaknik was cool, but I just think you look at that Southeast region. You had Booty Shake and all the strip clubs and all that kind of stuff. I just think it was just a more fun environment, and it was kind of accepted. But then it's just like anything else. Once you get out of hand and people don't know how to sit out there and party, because we can sit here and fuss about and this is a keep it real moment. We can fuss about the police always trying to mess stuff up, but at the end of the day, a lot of white parties, they they may get to fight and get drunk, but they ain't gonna never shoot each other.
Right.
You got cats bring guns, club full of women, ready to party, ready to mix and mingle. Why the hell are you trying to fight?
Right.
Why the hell are you trying to fight? Why the hell are you thinking about murder?
Right.
All this love in this room.
All these women.
And unfortunately, we probably one of the few, I'm talking about black folks, think like that. And I just think that sometimes you have them things like Freaknik, and then you get the rapes, you get the murders and all that kind of stuff. You force folks' hands. You force folks' hands with a lot of stuff. That don't mean other people don't do it.
Right.
But I'm just saying, tradition, let's keep it real.
Right.
You go on some of the white bars in certain areas of town, they don't have all that high security. They ain't got all that high security, whatever. But you go in ours, man, you got to go get patted 2 or 3 times, get really violated.
To get in.
Just to get in.
Right.
So, sometimes we done cause a lot of stuff.
Our own worst enemy sometimes.
There you go. And that's just me being real. That's my strong opinion about that. But I do love it. Like I said, I don't think no other place in this country like it. Not at all. Just for the culture, the music, the people, and everything like that. So, I think the song it's cool.
Right.
But again, it ain't nothing that Poochie plays over. You know what I'm saying? To be totally honest with you with that and everything. So, That's my little gist of it, man. We had a good show tonight, man.
Right.
Good show tonight. So
thank you, Ms. Pat, for tuning in. We appreciate you asking the question. We appreciate the interaction.
Thanks to everybody tuned in. And what I want to know, please, if you can, because I know everybody a fan. You know, be a fan of Mr. Short Dollar's mother YouTube channel, which is my financial channel where we talk about entrepreneurship, personal finance, investing, and business and stuff. Make sure you go there and subscribe to it. But definitely, please share the word about Change Your Life. This is my first YouTube channel. When Mr. Short Dollar took off, I won't say I've been neglecting it, but I ain't been putting the love into it.
Right.
We're revamping it. So I'm trying to have that two-headed monster for 2022. I was rebuilding a lot last year, but we back on track with everything. So I appreciate everybody that tuned in. I love you guys. Be safe. Mr. Short Dollar will be back next Thursday. But make sure you subscribe to both channels on YouTube, and also hit that bell to get a notification each time we upload a video, because we got a lot of great information on both channels. Take care of yourself, guys. Be safe out there. Love you guys, and talk to you soon.